dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life, the Pisces life. Two fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life, 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 the Pisces life.
My mic sounds nice. My mic sounds nice.
Yeah, check.
I thought you were my mind's telling me no. I was like, really?
No.
Now?
No, we don't do that.
Now?
This
You know
show is
Kai Love's
not
in
R.
Chicago
Kelly
right
friendly
now.
at all. We do not talk about aura.
That's why I was surprised. I was like, okay, we doing this. We can talk about that too.
No. We will not have Kimberly Lehman sending us an email saying, sis, the good sisters, what y'all doing?
Cut off. Y'all cut off.
Listen, they be like, absolutely boycott. Will be the subject of our next Lifetime special.
Absolutely. Well, as you can hear, Pisces Life listeners, we are already having a good time. Because we got familiar company today. Sis, go ahead and kick the show off.
Listen, welcome to this special edition of the Pisces Life podcast. It is Pisces season. It is my birthday. It is Kai Love's birthday. And you know how we do it. You never know who we know and who we got to stop by this show.
Yes.
But we are so excited to have one of our buddies that we met years ago in 2015 at comedy school. Now, jog your memories. We just relaunched March 2020, but back in the moment, we were in LA at the Comics Rock Convention hosted by Hope Flood and also Lunel.
Yes.
And so we have met this young brother here. And since we met him, baby, he done took off, okay? You have seen him on your television. First of all, I almost had just a straight conniption when I saw this brother in the Progressive commercial.
Yes.
I was like, that black man looks familiar.
Super familiar.
Didn't he look familiar? And then I said, oh, the little red-headed man. And then he said something about the class. And I said, oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to the show, Mr. Doc Farrow.
Hey, you know what? that was a fun spot. Thank you very much. I'm just glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Because I haven't talked to any, it's just been a long minute since we all been in the same room. So,
yes,
it is.
Comics Rock Convention. That was a lot of fun.
It was.
Yeah.
Such a good learning experience, especially Letitia certainly has been in the comic space for a while, doing her own stand-up and, hidden rooms here and there. I just was funny with my family.
Hey, that's where it starts, though. That's where it starts.
And then here we ended up at Comics Rock and certainly met you and what a blessing to be connected to someone so talented, so so sincere, and super vulnerable. And we'll get into that.
We will.
You must have seen something I've done.
We've seen some things that you've done.
You must have seen some videos that I didn't want to see.
Well, listen, listening audience, you also know him from his lovable role as Coach on Young Sheldon, the hit show. So tell us about how that came about. I mean, of course, a national commercial is one thing, but a regular spot on a hit show. And Young Sheldon, for those of you who are just now catching up, is the spinoff of Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
And so that's the piece that connects there. So tell us about how that came about and a little bit more about your character.
Well, you know what? In 2017, I went out for this role, and it was casting. My manager. It was my manager that actually put me in for it. And I show up, and this is the first time I looked at the script, and it's the first time I was able to look at a pilot, because I auditioned for other pilots, but to get the whole script and really focus on it. And I'm looking at it, and it's just one line. It's just one line. Like in the pilot episode, you see it's one line. And I'm reading, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then, like right after the audition, I got into the audition, did my one line, and that was it. And it was right after the audition, the next day, I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, this is Texas. This is 1989, and this is football. This is going to be bigger than what I'm thinking it is. Like I was just reading it like it was just one line, go in there and do it. But I did my I did the work. And when I actually read, I was like, oh, they need to call me back because this is recurring. Like this is real. And, you know what? 2 days later, they said, hey, it's yours. I thought they were going to have me in for a call back, and they said, hey, it's yours. Valco Miller was the casting director. Peter Pump was just. They had brought me in for other shows before, and I got a chance to go in for that one. And we had a couple table reads, and Lance, the one who plays George, the coach on that, and I play Coach Wilkins. So most of our scenes are with each other, and we kind of like hit it off right away. Chuck Lorre was there for the first season. Every time I showed up, he was there for the first season.
Nice.
He wanted to keep that show moving, and it did. I got a chance to meet Jim Parsons, the original Sheldon and he's such a wonderful, wonderful person.
Oh, nice.
And it was the next step for my career because, I've been doing co-stars and getting the one-liners in, and then doing guest spots and having lots of fun. But, to be in this place where I've got a recurring and being able to, it's a different feeling because you're with some of the same people, and I've been able to go in and see the same people for 4 years, and you build like a little family, and I get really excited just to see people, and I get excited just to be on set. Anyway, I've always got a smile. I'm always excited. I'm always happy to be there, and it's just been a really, really, really wonderful experience. And my character is, it's 1989. What I really, really, really love, and Chuck didn't know this, and Steve Malero, who's the other creator, and the head writer, he didn't know this, but when they first brought me in, because they didn't know how they were going to cast the character, we went in for the table read, and I was Coach Bergdorf. Mike Bergdorf was my name, and
okay,
like I went in and we went in for the table read, and I was like, hey guys, I can work on a German or Swedish accent if you want me to. But you guys might want to think about changing. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? They were like, oh, yeah, we'll look into that. And they forgot. So if you look at the pilot episode, I am Coach Mike Bergdorf in the pilot episode. And then for the next episode I come in, I'm looking at it, and now you're Wilkins. And I'm like, okay, that's better. That makes sense. But what they didn't know, and which is like really close, didn't know, was that my grandfather's name is Wilkins. His name is Samuel Wilkins. And my mom's father, he was the first African-American police officer in Dorchester County, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. And that was just like, they couldn't know.
Wow.
Right? They couldn't know, but that really touched. It really touched. And most of the character, the Vietnam veteran, he was a football coach. He was a beast of a football player. He played for Maryland State. Actually up until 2000, they were still showing films of him playing, showing the inside linebackers what to do, and the quarterbacks, what to look for. Like he was that good. And I didn't play football very long, but so I'm the the football coach that we're both Vietnam veterans. We're both in the military. We're in Texas, and now 1990. And I'm the best. I'm the friend of the coach.
Okay.
He's got his family. He's got 3 kids. He's got his wife, and he's got all these troubles. And I'm the one that he releases his frustration on. And I'm the one that's like, it ain't that bad, son. Just if he's doing this, try this. If she's doing that, you need to treat your woman better, all that stuff. So while he's going through his regular life, I'm the one that's like, slow down, think of it this, or do this, or why do you even have to do that? I'm the one that balances him out, so to speak. And it's really great. It's really great. Yeah. It's really great. We have a lot of fun, and every time I show up on set, I'm blessed. I feel blessed. I really do.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Love it.
Grateful.
Kai, you want to take the next question?
Yeah, I had a follow-up question, and then I'll jump into my question. So I follow a lot of funny folks, comedian types and actor types on the Instagram, and they always talk about.
You said the Instagram. I'm sorry. I remember. I'm getting old now because when you said the Instagram, I'm like, yeah, the Instagram. Yeah,
yes, it's the Instagram, and a lot of them say that they really want the roles that allow them to be themselves, that they get to ad-lib a little bit, help work with producers that help them to kind of have insight into the characters. Do you have a bit of flexibility on your set, or is this, kind of they're committed to the story being told the way that it's written?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know about those. And TV tends to run a certain way, and it's so fast paced that I honestly don't know whether they're changing things to me. But what I feel is that they're so good that they're actually writing for me, like they're writing towards my. And a lot of what the character is me. I don't have to do a whole lot of work. I mean, I do, but I don't have to go too far away. They really do understand who I am, and they write towards me. And every now and then I'll say, hey, does this make sense? Does this not make sense? This is what, but it really is very close. And they really are very smart. And there's no time where I can't stop and say, hey, what do you think about this? Or I was thinking about this. Hey, what do you think about it? And if I'm unclear, then what do you think about this? But it is also TV, and it's fast paced, and I try to get, if I have a question, and it's few far between with them, but if I have a question, I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh yeah, we'll try it. Or, we've got a couple extra takes. We'll try it that way, and they're really, really, really good about it.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah.
So I referenced some vulnerability earlier in the top of the show. You've written and produced your own film short called Saved Rounds. Can you tell us more about the project, the premise, the screenings, the awards, any festivals that it's in? What has life been for you behind the camera? I am so interested in this.
Thank you. That has been...
Me too.
Well, it's been an interesting journey that actually started before we met. Actually, about around the time we met. I was thinking about writing a script because Save Rounds is my third script, the short film that I did. And we were writing the feature. I have a friend, Deborah Leonhardt is her name. And we were looking at writing that, and I ended up shooting something else that I had written. I ended up going on a trip to do the Pacific Crest Trail, and I just put it aside. When I got back from the trail, I was like, you know what, let's just turn this into a short because we just want to shoot some shit. We just want to shoot something. And it was a good time for me because the first couple of shorts that I wrote, I was at that place where I couldn't hear anybody's feedback. And it had to be my own idea. And you're not trying to change my script because this is my script. I couldn't hear. So I took on, I could have had the other script better. But right when I was doing this, I had made a promise that I would workshop every bit on. And when I did, when I opened up to that and opened up to being vulnerable as a writer, for people to be able to come in and go, this, no, yes. The door started opening. A writer, Bobby Moresco, I workshopped it through him. I'm forever grateful for him and his daughter, Amanda. They are award-winning writers, and they have groups for workshopping. And once I started workshopping it, they gave me a director. And the director, John Fenn, who is amazing. I remember him from Glory, the movie Glory. He was the drill instructor in the movie Glory. And he's a veteran. He's a veteran actor, and he's a Navy veteran from during Vietnam. And we hit it off. And then he brought in, and it just kept coming together and coming together. The story is about saved rounds. Saved rounds is a term that the Marines use, and I ended up using it a lot as well. It simply put, it means something left undone. We would say it like at the end of the day, you know, our chief or our first sergeant would, you know, we would have a briefing or talk to the troops and we'd say, hey, I have any saved rounds? It just means, is there anything that I need to do still? Is there anything that you need to know? Anything that you know, usually people would say, you know, people wouldn't say anything because like, we want to go home. We don't want to hear from you anymore. But it simply means something left undone. And on the rifle range, you know, they check you for you know, if you have any rounds left over, bullets.
Wow.
or anything. And they're like, any saved rounds, because you can't take them off the range. So while I was writing this, the script is about this Navy corpsman, hospital corpsman, and corpsmen are.
Right, I was going to say, what are corpsmen for our audience? Mm-hmm.
Yes, corpsmen are the medical personnel for Marines. Okay. The Army has medics, Air Force has medics. Marines, they don't have a medical department. So the Navy provides the medics, which are corpsmen for them.
I never knew that. Okay.
Yeah. So I went to boot camp with the Navy, and then I went to Corps school, and field med is training with the Marines, training for the Marines. And it's basically, you know, doing all the medical stuff you would do in the ER, you're just doing gunfire. So that's the way we train. And then after we get stationed with the Marines, mm-hmm. we eat, sleep, and do everything with the Marines. We are completely separated from the Navy, other than the Navy personnel there. So this story is about the relationship between the two. And with medics and corpsmen, there's a special, I don't want to say special as in to separate or to make worse or better. Mm-hmm. There is a specific PTSD that comes with corpsmen and medics who go into combat and come back. And that is predominantly because we are taught, we are trained, we are emboldened to bring everybody back alive. Mm. And if we can't, we fail. And so, deep down, we fail. Wow. So coming back alive and not everybody coming back, we carry that. Mm-hmm. We carry that because you're my responsibility. And I had to tap into that because, so the story is a corpsman, myself, mm-hmm. Who has come back and has been kind of, you know, carrying this with him, alcoholic, suicidal, the whole mm-hmm. works. And he gets visited by one of his fallen Marines, a mm-hmm. very good friend, one of his brothers. And he basically, and you know, there's a lot of witty banter in it. There's a lot of that morbid, you know, that morbid humor that we carry with us in the military, because, you know, that's what we do. He basically gets him to go do something that he promised to do. And the promise is that if one of them died, he would go give letters and give the present to the other family. And when this Marine died, I didn't do that. The corpsman, the Doc, by the way, that's what Doc is. Doc is the title that is honored, that the Marines honor a good corpsman with. Oh, nice. So it's why I called myself Doc.
I love it.
And there's, you know, there's 50 billion of us, and they're all just as much Doc as I am. I just the one that keeps the name, you know. So he doesn't do that. Mm-hmm. So he's been carrying this around and my story would be, been carrying this around for 10, 15 years. And now it's like, he's got no freedom. He's got no releases, no comfort for him. He doesn't want to, but he's also got this Marine that's decided to come and haunt him.
Right.
And, through this comedic way, I got to get rid of you. So let me go do this so you get the hell up out of my face.
What was it, Brain Baby?
when you're calling somebody stupid, you just don't call them stupid. You say something that's sarcastic. So you call them brainchild, baby, like just to basically to say they're stupid. And that's, you did say that in the movie. So, along the way, he's got this woman with him who doesn't all the way understand what's happening. She doesn't understand what's happening,
Right.
but she knows that she is attached to Doc emotionally for some reason. And as they're going through this journey, he is finding that he can't run away from this. And when stuff gets tough and he's going back to hiding, he can't run away from it. And all of them are finding some kind of peace. And the woman who's with him, we find out that her father was in the military. Well, and one thing I want to say, because I have a lot of heroes in my life, but Deborah Leonhardt is one of my heroes. And I say this because it took me 2 years to get to acting in that movie. It was very, like, I had to do some real stuff on me and I had to allow it to happen.
That's powerful.
While yes, thank you. While I'm struggling to act in this, because it's not very far away from my true story. Her father, who was in Vietnam as a Marine Corps pilot, the actor, her actual father, was dying of cancer from Agent Orange while we were shooting this.
Oh, wow.
And she got a chance to show him the rough cut.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
The universe has a way.
Like, I know what I walked through for this, but that just, for her to do that and for her to walk through this and with the grace that she did, it was just amazing and beautiful. And she's my hero. She's one of my heroes for that.
I love it.
And we still talk. I mean, we're good friends anyway, but every time we talk, I'm usually saying, hey, I just told a story about you. Remember that. It was something on the production side behind the camera. It was that I had to give up what I thought was control over it. The first thing I said was that I'm not going to direct this because it was so close to me. I couldn't have that much practical hands on it because it was just, that also allowed me to back away from it and allow other people to pull the best of me out. I think it's best because, this is the way it happened, or this is the way I saw it, and blah, 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 blah. And John Finn, he's a director's director, he's an actor's actor. And he was able to, he was that guy that I could say, we went back and forth about a few things. And he was like, no, it's got to be this way. And I'm like, no, this is the way it's got to be. And ultimately he knows it's my project, but we built that rapport real early of, we could fight about this and then we could think about it and then go, okay, yeah, you're right. And then there was a couple of spots where it was like, John, this is the way it's got to be. I mean, this is the way it's got to be. And he was like, okay, yeah. And then, once we had all finished, I think we had really said, it was something that was just special. It was really something special in creating it. And my only hope, my only prayer is that the people who I know or who can relate to this find as much healing as I did making it,
Oh, wow.
And I'm finding that, I'm able to send it to some of the people that I served with, and some of my corpsmen that I served with. And, whether it's a great movie or not, I'll never say. But what I could say is that the response that I had to it, my corpsmen are having to it, my Marines are having to it. And if we made this just for one to get something out of it, then that's
it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
And to see how the universe lined up for this to happen, because once I got Bobby's just amazing. He wrote Crash, and he also produced $1 Million Baby, and when that kind of expertise, it showed in the workshopping, and you've got 50 people in there who are all actors, all writers, and working. And they're like, we love this, and you trust that, and we don't love this, and we got to work on that, and blah, blah, blah. It's just, first of all, it's scary. Sitting there as the writer and not being able to say something when people are ripping your shit apart It's like, but don't you? And then I got John, and John, he's like, I want to bring a crew. And I'm like, okay. Because, honest to God, I was just going to my phone and have something. And then he's bringing, award-winning cinematographers, and gaffers and grips. And I was like, okay, I need money. And the money came. Uh-huh. There was no point I didn't say, we're not going forward. Yeah. And I don't usually do this because I like, okay, the money's there, and now we're going to do this. Mm-hmm. We started shooting, and we didn't have all the money, and that's like the no-no. But there was nothing in me that said stop. There was nothing in me that said don't go forward. And I have a producer, Lola No, who, God bless, love her. Mm-hmm. If I produce something else, I'm going to have her back. She's wonderful. And at some point I was like, she's going to leave me. She's going to leave me because I couldn't see the money. And, she's like, we need this. And I said, go get it. She goes, where's the money? I said, go get it. Like, I didn't know where it was coming from, but I knew that we needed this. And I swear to God, at some point she was just going to like, I can't do this and leave. But she stuck there. And God, I love her. She stuck with me, and it just kept showing up. And I had some really close friends that were like, we want to be a part of this. And, I had some other people that were like, we want to see this, and that's what it's about. Like, right. And it just kept coming together. And post-production was just a whole nother level of just blessing after blessing, because I didn't know how I was going to. I mean, I didn't have the money to shoot it, and then I got it, but I didn't know how I was going to do post, because that costs money too. And I got an editor, and John got his own editor. And then I happened to be talking about a project with some people that are a part of, Warner Brothers. And they were like, just get it to us, we'll do it. And I'm like, okay.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, our original composer had fallen out. And then my sound guy was like, hey, I got a friend who, he's good. He'll let him, can I show it to him? And he showed it to him. And within 15 minutes, he's like, I'm on board. Just give me a couple dollars and I'll do it. And come to because I was just like, let's do it. And I didn't vet him. After a couple of weeks, I actually looked him up, and his name is Brian Arata, and he was one of the composers for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And he has done like 87 episodes of Family Guy. And I'm like, that's the people that have been showing up for this.
Wow.
Donald Thorin Jr. Was a cinematographer. And when John brought him on, I looked him up immediately. He was the camera guy for his father on most of his projects. His father was a cinematographer for Trading Places, On Golden Pond.
Classics.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're my whole childhood, and I've got you with me. And I'm like backing up, going, look, y'all know what y'all are doing. Just let me act. But, right. And they just kept showing up, and it just.
That's beautiful.
It's one of those where it can't be anything else but supposed to happen. Right. I can't go and pick out, I mean, I might be able to now, but I can't go out and pick out, award-winning people and say, hey, come look at my shit. No, these people just showed up. Wow. And it's been a beautiful process. And afterwards, when we got ready for film festivals, you know what? I was like, I know we've got something good here. It's niche because it's military, but I said, right, something good, and I'm just going to start submitting. And then the budget for submitting got bigger. Yeah, I ended up submitting, and by the end of the first 6 months, we had gotten into 2 or 3 film festivals, and in about a year, we had been in 10. Nice. And we ended up winning Best of Fest. We ended up winning Best of Fest, and this one, which was great because it's, I believe, psychology film festival. So it actually has to do with, mental illness, PTSD, and things like that. So it really worked. And there's one called Fair Winds Film Festival, and it's basically a military film festival. And we won Best of Fest for that one.
Round of applause! Yeah. That is so amazing! Like,
congratulations!
Amazing,
yes.
Right?
Yes, for saved rounds. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's been really something, and I'm for a smidget. I'm kind of glad that, let me say this in a good way, because of COVID, it gave me some more opportunities. Because when a movie's made, you have a certain window of time to submit and to get it out there. And when COVID hit, and more doors opened up, and over the last 3 months, we've gotten into 10 more film festivals. So
wow.
Yeah, we're actually in 21 altogether, and we've brought home 5 or 6 awards. And it's just been, I'm in that place where I was in that place where, is it time to set it down? Let your baby go back to sleep as opposed to waking him up and have him do all kinds of tricks, And the answer was, you know what? I'm going to push it back to November as far as submitting to film festivals and letting it get out there. And since I had made that decision, it was like, submitted to X amount more, and what's come back is 10 more. And it's just, it's great. I'm grateful for winning the awards, but to me, it means more of, because of that, it's more marketable. And I personally need every person who has ever served in combat who understands that dynamic. Mm-hmm. The relationship between a corpsman is something is special and powerful. I just want people who can from this to get something from this. Mm-hmm. I made sure that my therapist, God rest his soul, he died over Christmas.
Oh no.
Yeah, I made sure that he was, kind of going, hey, yeah, that from the PTSD side, with the work that I have had to do with my own, and with him being a professional, I said, hey, can you take a look at this? Can you read this and see where I'm at with this? And we got a chance to show it to altogether right now, about 2,000 veterans so far have seen it. And the overwhelming response of, I get that, from today's, Iraqi war, which was what I was in, and people who were in Afghanistan. I mean, it's the same time frame. I have people from World War II who are looking at that and seeing that it's all the same. It doesn't change. That guilt doesn't change. Yeah. That relationship doesn't change.
Yes.
Those bonds don't go away.
It does not.
And it doesn't. And
it's just such a beautiful story. And I didn't serve in the military, but my father served in the military. He did wartime and was discharged with injury. And it just brought me to a space that there are so many people that we know who have served and protected us here in these United States, and are walking around and holding such pain, because we don't really have an idea about what that looks like and feels like. But we have family members, and we see things like in movies, and certainly this short, I think drove home the messaging of ghosts and how those ghosts follow you around and remind you constantly of guilt, of poor decisions, and replaying how you could have did things differently and everything. And then they got like snarky attitudes, like, how you gonna be a snarky ghost? Like, we ain't got no time for this. Like, he was a little snarky.
Right, he was a snarky ghost.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And the ghost in life doesn't have to be that visceral, but it's there. It's there. It's always there to remind. And my journey for me was bringing that spirit with me and honoring that spirit, so as opposed to trying to shove it away and it coming back with a vengeance. And not saying that it's good or bad, but the more and more I say no to what is and what happened, the more and more I'm not living life. And I think that was a very important thing. And also Deborah's role, Lori, in there, being able to not understand why she's relating to this whole thing. Because let me tell you something, if I was her and I said, hey, let's drive across the country, I can't tell you why, but we're going to go do some shit. I'm not going. But there was something about her and this character, and I think she brought it out brilliantly, is that, there's military wives that that's a special thing. A military wife, a military spouse, family and friends of military who have to walk through that losing of the person that they were, and really adjusting without judgment. And I mean, that's a hard thing for anybody to adjust to me after I've gotten out of the military or while I was in the military. It's a hard thing. And I will say there's a woman named Dawn Rowe. I didn't feel obligated to, but I respected her enough to tell her I was doing this before I shot. The reason I say I didn't feel, because it's a movie and I was going to tell this story, but I got a hold of her and I checked with her before I shot it. The reason I say that I felt that, because her husband was one of my COs in Iraq the first time. She is a Gold Star wife. He died after I came back, and he went back and he died a year after I came back the second time from Iraq. And I was able to get a hold of her. I was able to contact a few people that died while we were serving. And I was able to get a hold of them and say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and I need to know what you guys think. And she was, what she's had to walk through, and what she has as a wife who lost her husband, and having to, her were young when he died, and now they're growing, they're in high school and college, and it's like, what she's had to walk through and be for them and be for herself, amazing. And I checked in with her, and I got to make sure that she was, credited, and she was in, that she got a chance to see it. There's something about, they say there's something special about a coach's wife, for football and everything. It's the same thing, just in a
with the military.
Absolutely, it's something special about someone who knows their husband is going to be gone for 12, 14 hours a day because they've got stuff to do here, and then knows they're going to be going away. There's something special about that and including the children, and that's what Deborah did well. I mean, she is a child of a Marine, and their father may go away and never come back, and I don't know what that's like. My father was well out of the military before I was born, and I don't know what that's like, but that in of itself, every little difference is something that doesn't need to be, because we as humans tend to overlook a lot of things.
Oh yeah.
But every little difference every unique quality from one human to another is to be celebrated and to take it into consideration. That's what empathy is. And for me, that is something that needed to be in the film. And again, it wasn't just me. I mean, I wrote it, and Deborah wrote it with me, but John brought so much to it, saying, because he's been doing this much longer, and he was able to bring in like the motifs and the themes that cut through all wars, that just go, we did some research that all the way back to the Spartans,
oh wow.
Just to be able to bring that feeling into it. And
well, you definitely did that. People that want to support and see saved rounds in the public, how can they do that? Is that possible yet, or? Right now, it is not public. Okay.
I've been able to kind of give little mini screenings online here and there, but because we're in film festivals, and there are some that are, eligible for Oscars that we really want to, make sure.
Oh, sure.
We stay eligible for. Having a broad release of it is not something that we can do right now.
Got it.
Well, if you were, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, when you can, though, please make sure that we get that exclusive over here, you know, because we would love to share that with our audience. We are almost about out of time, too. Was there one more thing that you wanted to say on that to wrap up Save Round? Because I did have one last question before we get out of here.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, we have enjoyed our time with you, and we wanted to make sure that our audience knew about Saved Rounds because it was powerful. I couldn't believe and impactful and just those under 20 minutes, you know, and the range of emotions that I went through. Honey, when that woman came out and cried for her son, I said, oh my God, I was broke down. So I want to put it on a funnier note, to end on a funnier note, because we did meet you as a funny guy. Who remembers Buddy Lewis dying by chocolate? Death by chocolate. Remember that? Okay. You know, having improv classes by Buddy Lewis, none other than, I mean, how many people can really say that? That was a magical weekend. So do you see yourself returning back to stand-up comedy? And if so, what do you think about the genre now that audience hadn't been allowed, you know, because of the pandemic and all of that? Listen, I tried to do a funny conversation by Zoom and I was like, ouch, this is killing me. It is hurting.
It is, we evolve or we die. I mean, and
true.
For me, I've done a couple of the live shows. And for me, if you've got a producer, a host who lets the audience turn their mics on so you hear their laughter. I mean, the timing is, you know, you got to kind of wait a little bit because of the
delay sometimes.
Yeah. But when we can get at least 10 people out of the audience who hear their laughter, it's a big enough sample to say, okay, the place where I've always had the punchline, the place where I've always had the setup, the place where I know that it's going to get laughed. But I haven't done a whole lot, and I haven't been grinding out comedy for a while anyway. But when I was actually revving up for it, I was actually going to China. I had set up a week or 2 weeks in China, and I set up a week in there. And they were like, oh yeah, come over to Hong Kong. And then 2 days later, because this was in February, and then 2 days later, they were like, no, we're going to put a pin in that. We're just going to wait because, you know, there's some things going on we don't know about, right? It was right at the beginning of listening. So when that happened, you know, I was just like, you know what? Took 3 months and went, okay, Netflix, because I can't, you know, Young Sheldon had shut down. There was nowhere to go. I mean, everybody was kind of afraid. So I just kind of was like, you know what, let me just feel myself for a second. Let me feel who I am in the middle of something that's this big. And I think that's always the blessing about something that happens, is to be able to settle in and go, who am I right now? Not who does the news say I am, who does the radio say I am, and who this person who's going to complain about everything, and this person that, you know, saying it's all a conspiracy. Right. Who am I in the middle of this? Let's start to listen to this.
I like that.
After about 3 months, I had decided I was just going to focus on something else that I could put me in the house, and I could be writing, I could be working on something else, and I wasn't going to fight for shows. And then and that went on for about 4 or 5 months. And then I was like, okay, let me do a couple shows. I got back into some improv, started taking some acting classes again. And my feeling is that, you know, well, now everything's opening back up a little bit at least. And, you know, I just like making people laugh. And even though it's just such a difference, you know, not only might be in your home, I might not be able to see you, but, you know, you're in my house now. I don't let people in my house, right?
Me either.
But that was like the first thing I opened up with was like, you motherfuckers in my house right now. And y'all are lucky because right now, I mean, I'm not wearing pants and you can't see that, but I might be, you know, but so I kind of opened up with that, and it kind of loosened up, and getting that feedback is important to me. I mean, I think it's important to stand up, period. Because, I mean, that's what it is. It's that conversation. It's not TV where, you know, you might hear 4 months later what people think about it. But, you know, that constant conversation has to happen. And, you know, I just want to make people laugh. Personally, I decided to use this time to really focus on something else. But this year I'm coming back, and it's going to be a hybrid style.
Okay.
It's going to be a hybrid of Flapper started opening up. There's a couple of like comedy spots, alt rooms that have started to open up, and they've got like sidewalk gigs and out and about, and because at a certain point you're like, well, I'm used to a crowd, I'm used to this, I'm used to Mike, I'm used to, and there's a fear that goes along with that, but just to make people laugh is just beautiful. Yes. I would love to the energy of packing a house.
Yes.
If you're in a small place, 100 people, 500 people. I think the largest crowd I've done was 700. There's an energy that goes there. It's like, ooh. and I got to do this in front of, the taxi cab that's beeping behind me. But like, when the energy is dispersed for me, it's like there's a whole level of fear that comes along with that. And right now, with Save Rounds still going on, and I'm writing out the feature, I've got a lot of end-year goals. But one of them is doing stand-up and building back up to an hour again. So, I have reservations about it, but, laugh. That's my thing. It's just I want to make, when I do stand-up, I want to make people laugh. When I do a comedy, I just want to make people laugh. And whether it's up there in front of 3 people, which is scarier because you got these 3 people there, and again, the energy is shift, but it's informative because if I'm there with it and I'm there with you and we're having a good time, then we're having a good time. So I don't like it. I don't like the Zoom thing, but when I get that itch and it's like, let's go bang out something, then yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we could talk to you all night, but unfortunately, the way that the show is set up, we got to go ahead and sign on out of here. This has been amazing. Doc, thank you so much for connecting with us and sharing your story. Oh, I know our Pisces Life audience members are going to love this episode. And this is episode 159, I believe.
Right. By the way, 159, episode 159.
Yes.
159. Hey, that's
we forget sometime what episode we on. So, 159.
Absolutely. So if thank you. If the audience wants to connect with you, because we know once they listen to this, they're going to be like all in your business. They're going to want to know, where this movie going to be? What is going on? Where is he from?
What's his socials?
Where can the people find you?
So IMDb, Doc Farrow, DOC FARROW. All social medias. Anymore right now. They got to arguing a little too much.
Not on Twitter, right?
I'm not on Twitter, but Facebook and Instagram, you'll always know what's happening with me. At JDoc Farrow on either one of those. And for the website for me is www.docfarrow.com. For Save Rounds, www.saveroundsmovie.com. SavedRoundsMovie.com.
Nice. We'll make sure that we put that in our show notes too and spell it out for people so that they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. And always, keep watching Young Sheldon. I shoot another episode next week. So yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. Sis, if the people on the interwebs is looking for you, where can they find you at?
They can find me watching Young Sheldon and making sure that my DVR is recorded. And when Save Rounds makes it on out here, I know I'm going to be on the red carpet. Someone be like, that's my friend's film. We know him. Episode 159. Check it out.
Yeah.
You can find me at IamJustLetitia, LETIT to the I to the A. And sis, if they are looking for you, where can they find you at?
They going to see me doing my mirror work, trying to be the next coach on Young Sheldon. I'm gonna be like, can I be the coach little sister?
Listen, wait, coach got a wife, and I was kind of like, Doc, wait a minute now. Coach got a wife, and I ain't know nothing about it. No.
Real quick.
Where can they find you? Go ahead.
They gave me Julia Pace. Her mom was an actress back in the day. She's just lovely. I'm so glad they gave me a wife on that. It's beautiful. But I'll be talking to Steve Malone.
You know what I'm saying, little sis?
You know.
I can get on there and talk a couple things, say a couple things. Y'all can find me on the Twitter at Kai Loves You, KAILOVESU. I am also on Instagram as Kai Loves You too. Just add the 2 to that. We are out of here, y'all. Peace and blessings.
2 fish living in a dream. One swimming up, one swimming downstream. The Pisces life. 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 The Pisces life.